Good morning. Are you ready to go? Who's alive? Yeah. All right. All right, I'll mark this as beginning. Good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone, your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader just like you. Just let me know how I can help. I want to be your guide, if you will, on this journey we call Forex. Let me know how I can help. Been doing this a while, and I've learned a few things, and I've made a lot of mistakes that I've learned from, so I can share. Let me know how I can serve you. Let me know how I can serve you better. I do listen. I do adjust. I do try. Coolio. Yes, we are in the third quarter, aka the second half of the year, so this is an important opportunity for us to gather. We have some meeting minutes coming out later today. I think you should probably take a look at that. So I think today what we'll do is we'll go through the charts. Let me know what you prefer. Stock markets. We can do commodities. We can do crypto. We can do currencies. Let me know how I can help. Good morning, Daniel Chen. So good to see you. So, hey, if you guys need a foreign exchange broker, I recommend TradersWay.com. Trustworthy, ethical. They earn my loyalty and respect. I invite you to check them out. TradersWay.com. They're fast. They're kind. They're beautiful. They're affordable. They provide high quality service. Check them out. Been recommending Traders Way for 7 or 8 years now? Very cool. What? Now here it is. Yeah. I don't know what changes these settings. Is it YouTube? No. Is it Windows? Maybe. All right, so I'm here. I'm back. Let me rewind. Okay. About 20 years ago. Okay, about 20 years ago, I gave up a job. I had a job. I actually had benefits. I had a salary and a bonus structure. I haven't had too many jobs in my life, except for my paper route. I worked at NASA. I worked at Apple. Yeah, I worked at Cisco Systems. Okay, yeah. Well, then later on in life, I was a venture capitalist. And I gave all that up to become a full-time Forex trader. And it was a lot. And I really liked that job. And it was really cool because I had a couple of assistants. We had 300 employees. There was always something going on in the office. There was always a buzz. You could feel it. You could feel it all the time. Anyways, all the time. You could just walk around and go get a coffee, and there was like meetings going on and people doing interesting things and investments being made, So anyway, so when I gave all that up, I worked out of a home office. I worked from 10 o'clock at night to 10 o'clock in the morning, San Francisco time, to be a Forex trader. And I realized the biggest threat I had to my new career at that point was I was completely alone. I didn't know any other Forex traders. There was no other Forex community. There wasn't books on Forex. There was nothing on Forex. And all of a sudden I'm doing this in the middle of the night, all by myself. And the isolation got to me. So I started a community because I thought about what led to success in the past. And I've been lucky enough to have success in the past before Forex. And I always surrounded myself with like-minded people. And I said, you know what? That's what I need to do. So how am I going to do this? You have to understand YouTube wasn't invented yet. This is a while ago. So I said, well, I'm going to share everything I learned over the years on how to become a successful Forex trader. I'm going to find a community of like-minded people. And back then, actually, what I did is I used eBay. Yeah, I used eBay. I sold an ebook for like $1, one that I wrote, gave away all my secrets. And then in that, I'm like, hey, I'll give you a free hour consultation. Let me know what you're up to and I'll share everything. And then, of course, in that consultation, I shared everything. And people are like, oh my God, that's so grateful. And I said, by the way, I'm starting a community. You should check it out. And that's how it started. Yeah, and some of you are around from those original days. So what am I getting to? Well, it's been 20 years, and now it's time to get serious. FX Bootcamp's great, but we want more. You've been asking me for more, because you're expanding, you're getting bigger. So as of today, if you go to fxbootcamp.com, which I'll type in here, it takes you now to Investor Bootcamp. Yay, Investor Bootcamp. So I actually bought this about 4 years ago. Hey man, I've been busy. Okay. What I wanted to show you guys is that I want to expand, or you want to expand, and this is our ability now. I'm increasing our ability to expand. I want to know what you want to know. What do you want to do next? Now that FX Bootcamp involves all kinds of investing opportunities, what would you like to do next? Do you want to do a course on global stock market indices, investing into gold, personal finance, real estate, hedge fund strategies? You know what? I used to be a venture capitalist, and I took a class at Harvard Business School on venture capital. So I even have a graduate certificate in VC work. Do you want to know more about venture capital, how it works, and how you structure it, and doing cap tables and stuff? Like, what do you want to do next? How can we get bigger? How can I share more? What do you want to do for the next 20 years? Let me know. I'll send out an email. I'll get some feedback and stuff, but what do you think? Would you want to do hedge funds? Do you want to do venture capital? Do you want to do real estate? Do you want to do personal finance? Well, we have the capacity to do that now. What do you think we should do next? Well, let's see. Right now, obviously, most of you are most interested in currencies, but we can do more. I didn't even put down crypto. So anyways, there's FX Bootcamp, now rebranded as Investor Bootcamp. And so we can do Forex and so much more as well. Let me know how it can help, and we will do it. All right, so let's get in with the short-term indices. Pound. Okay. Yen. Dollar. Oh. Really? Dollar week. That's kind of interesting. Okay, yeah. Monica, family offices. Yeah, we could, that would be interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, there's stuff and you say start and obviously manage and, investment philosophy and I suppose due diligence for family offices. Sure. Yeah. See, never even thought about that. Yeah, we could definitely do that. And in fact, there's two sides to that too, right? Like raising money from family offices. Yeah. Are you thinking a single family or multifamily? Okay. All right, so let's back out. Let's do a bigger time frame. You say single family for now. Well, the thing is, single families usually mean you're talking bigger money. So if as a starting point, because when you say for now, you mean, well, for now, and then we'll get bigger. No, it's usually the other way around. If you don't have a lot of experience as, as a investing, let's say, as a family office, then usually what you do is you'll hook up with other family offices, right? And so you might get 2, 3, 4 families working together with one and acting as one manager or with one manager. And then when you're bigger and more sophisticated, more experienced, then you'd go single, right? So that's how I would look at that. So you wouldn't say for now and then become multi. No, you'd start with multi and then go single family. Irfan says, yeah, personal finance. I think actually the personal finance one could be one of the most powerful. I mean, look, a lot of people have a bit, especially YouTubers, let's say, there's a common thread. People want to know how to become a millionaire. Cool. That's easy. And you're like, wait, what? By, betting big on crypto? No. no, finance, right? And then in this case, personal finance, which is, you are a small business of your own. Personal finance is the study in mathematics, if you will, of money over time. Okay? It's the calculus of money. So if you want to become a millionaire, and this is in particular to a message to our younger investors, right? Let's say you're in your 20s or early 30s, becoming a millionaire is straightforward. It is calculating where a cannonball will land based on physics, right? Well, what's the velocity of the cannonball? What's the size? What's the weight? What's the wind? And you can calculate right where the cannonball is going to land. It's only physics, right? So if your goal was to make $1 million, cool, that's easy. We can plan it all out. How much money do you make? How much money are you going to make? How much money do you spend? How much assets do you have? What are your liabilities? How much time? So on and so forth. Growth rates and all this. And you just plug in the numbers, and I can tell you exactly how much money you're going to have when you're too old to work. And if your number is $1 million, the thing is, $1 million's not going to be enough. So we would want to work on that and say, well, what is enough? Well, what do you need? And then we can just do the math. So that's actually a really straightforward goal. And what most people do is throw that away because they want to get rich now, today. Well, that's ridiculous. Right? Well, you can rob a bank or win the lottery. Okay? But a funny thing is, if you're at the gas station and people are in line to buy lottery tickets, none of them are rich. So there's a better way of doing it. Okay? And so, so I think that would be the most interesting, most powerful course, is just like, how do you make money? How is money made? And it's straightforward. And anyone that's, in their 50s and their 60s and their 70s, they're going to go, I just wish I knew all of that, Yeah. Okay. My phone just fell into my pocket. I can't see. There we go. Yeah, so anyways, money. I like money. I like money a lot. Money is good. All right, so anyways, yens still seem to be in their downward trajectory. Very cool. Very nice. This is based on daily. Okay. So notice that we've accelerated to the bottom, approaching plausibly a hesitation point in the weakness. Okay, maybe a time for a slowdown in the weakness, or maybe even reversion back to the mean. What do you think of that? Dollar kind of directionless, huh? We dropped to 101 and just held. That's it. We've been between 101 and what number is this? 104 for a very long time. And it's because we don't have clarity on the Fed. or at least the market doesn't have clarity on the Fed. Today we have meeting minutes. Okay, today we have meeting minutes. I think that comes out at 2 o'clock. And you will learn about what was discussed before they paused, meaning the Federal Open Market Committee. When I say they, that's who I'm talking about. Okay, Kiwi, you can see, definitely caught inside a plausible change in direction. Kiwi lost a lot of value. Okay, and now has been in a sideways move since about, I guess you could say, middle of April. And the question is, are we going to start moving back up? Well, you might have gotten the news that out of China earlier, or well, I guess for me it was last night, but disappointing news, and that would not be favorable to the Australian dollar or to the New Zealand dollar. So again, if we go to a smaller time frame looking at these currency indices, you'll see not favorable to the Aussie dollar in particular. Okay? Now this one moved a lot less, but not, okay? Okay? Remember that it's a holiday week. Many large institutional investors are not trading right now. And I mean the actual people, the actual traders. So we got to be careful this week. Yes, we have non-farm payrolls. Okay? But we had Canada Day, and then we had 4th of July, and then you know, non-farm payrolls coming up. But when you have these holidays, there are a lot less traders out there. So don't expect a whole lot this week. Maybe next week should be a bit better, just because it's not a holiday week. You know what I mean? So, you know, just keep that in mind. One of the things that we typically talk about, in particular at FX Bootcamp, in our live trading groups, oh yeah, and I wanted to show you something about that. But anyways, we talk about a whole different point of view towards trading, a strategy, if you will, and we call it shooting at rabbits. So our attitude changes about this marketplace. We're not necessarily looking for big long-term trends. In fact, the big long-term trends typically get faded this time of year. And so let's say you want to sell the yen, so that means buy yen pairs. But like Aussie's weak right now, and CAD's weak, and a bunch of other things are, you know, and the yen pairs may actually end up not doing much at all now, just because no one's actually really trading that much. And so you have to change your attitude and say, well, on the long term, you want to do what you want to do. But in the short term, shooting at rabbits means, you know, you might be looking for big game, but if they're not around, if you spend all your time looking for big game and ignoring the rabbits, you're going to starve. So instead of going on these big hunts looking for big trends, you might be, let's say, short-term short the yen pairs. You just day trade your way down. And that might last for weeks. So you have to know that going into, you know, weeks like this where it may look flat, and it probably is flat, and you're going to have to hunt a little harder for your trades, and the trades are going to be a bit smaller, most likely. So, you know, so maybe we can go back and look at some of these yen pairs. Oh, you know what, but I want to talk about that bootcamp thing. That's right, before I forget. So again, if you go to, if you go to FX Bootcamp now, it sends you to Investor Bootcamp. And many of you are members, so I want to get this out while you're here, or put it on the recording. You used to go to the live community events to attend like a day trading meeting or a swing trading meeting, right? So tomorrow's a swing trading. And you used to go to the community first, and then you'd go to the meetup. We're not going to do that anymore. We're still going to have the community, but I'm not going to do that process for the live room anymore. So what you'll do is, for tomorrow's swing trading meeting, you'll go to the live swing trading room. And here's the webinar room. Okay? And below there will be all the weekly recordings. If you're familiar with Quant-in-a-Box, it works exactly the same way as Quant-in-a-Box does. So you'll come in here, you'll click on this, and this is the live room. Okay? So that's how you'll do it. No. So we won't use the meetups for that. I just didn't like the way it kind of organized things. I didn't like how if you were late and moved things around. I didn't like, you know, like if you wanted to watch a swing trading group meeting from 3 weeks ago for whatever reason. Okay? Yeah, so Meta, just like I was saying before, with the meetup, if you wanted to watch a swing trading meeting from three weeks ago, you couldn't find it, right? So they'll all be down in here, Meta. It's just that there isn't any recordings right now, right? So let me show you what Quant-in-a-Box looks like. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted here. Okay, so here's this morning's Quant-in-a-Box. Okay, so you can go directly to that, or here's a page. So here's the room, the live room. And then here's today's recording. Here's all the recordings for June. And there's many more. Here's all the recordings for May, April, and March, and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be like that. And this will be better, right? So that you'll be able to like look at an old meeting easily. Yeah. Okay, so here's from today. So it makes sense. So all the recordings will be down here. Yeah. And again, doing it through the meetup room like we used to, it was easy for me because I didn't have to like download and upload and create things. It just automatically did it. But there were some weaknesses to it as well. So it's going to be a little more work for me, but it's going to be better for you. And I am your humble servant. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's pretty. So I just realized we probably still have meetups scheduled over here, so I'm going to have to change it. Yeah, so I'm going to cancel all these meetups. Oh, look at that, cool. Yeah, so like here's June 28th, and like this is weird, right? Having to like go back and back and back and back and back and back and back. I mean, it's okay, I guess, but so I'll get that. I like the challenges of the community. So when meeting minutes come out today, I'm going to post it as a challenge. Okay, and I like member chats and posts and stuff like that. I like that. So all of that will continue. Cool. All right. Sorry for the housekeeping, but many people that attend these meetings are FX boot campers, so they're going to have questions. They're like, "Oh my God, it's Investor Boot Camp now." Yeah, I changed the logo, bro, but I do want to expand our library and I want to expand our conversations. Cool. So let's just do around the world. I was going to do yens. Now let's just do around the world today and make it a quick and easy meeting. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. Okay, potential toppy top forming on the Japanese stock market. We've talked about it. And now that is confirmed. It is a double top. So you might consider it a reversal. I don't know. But this is now in play. Remember, I said don't do it here because you want a double top of a double top. Okay? And now you got a double top of a double top. Cool. And part of this logic too is you should not attempt to be the first trader into a trade. Okay? You want lots of traders in the trade. You never want to be the first. So anyways, nice little head and shoulders. But again, if you're trading a reversal of a market, I want you to think of the psychology here. Instead of like paying a lot of attention to the head and shoulders type thing, and I'll draw it properly now. Okay. That's a head and shoulders. But the logic of it, forget about the pattern. The logic is if you're talking about something that's been bullish for a very long time, to get it to go from bullish to bearish, it needs to go neutral first and then turn bearish. It takes a long time. So for those that like to counter trend trade, I'll remind you that it's not a great strategy, okay, to short into a rising market. So that you should train yourself that you might pick the right levels, but it takes longer than most counter trend traders, allow. Okay, just so, yeah, double top of a double top. It's almost like if you see it on a 4-hour, you need to see it on a daily, And so, right, there's your double top, but you need it on a daily. So here we are breaching the 21. And so this is in play. We don't know if that's going to happen, but it's interesting that the time and the price, right? The time is interesting because back in January, we talk about this day being an incredibly important day. Canada Day. Isn't it amazing? Okay? We point out that candle very often is a key candle. I can talk about it 6 months in advance. Now, really, honestly, it's more of a window of change, but this is when you look for change. How many people have seen me just show up on Canada Day, like this, typically trading a week like this, and I'm in a foreign country or I'm on an exotic beach somewhere, and I'm like, Canada Day, right? And I said, I told you this is the time to go on vacation. This is the time when everything that has been up stops going up. Anybody confirm that? Anybody? Bueller? where I say, everybody, all the big players go on vacation, right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm on the beach. Yeah. And right? This year, I'm not on a beach. I'm working really hard for you. So investor boot camp is a big deal. I hope you appreciate the even just psychological importance. I mean, I've been doing FX boot camp every day for 20 years. And now, boom. Now we're getting big. Now we're getting serious. Okay, now we're going to do some heavy lifting in some other markets. I really hope you appreciate that just psychologically and emotionally, how big of a deal that is. I actually had to spend many, many thousands of dollars even just buying the domain, but nonetheless, I have some other really big things I'm working on. I have a big AI project, actually multiple AI projects that I'm working on. And Quant-in-a-Box has amazing, amazing things that have already been upgraded and I'm going to announce. So that's happening. Holy smokes. Like not one or two things, not three or four, not five or six. A lot of amazing things are coming around the corner. And I'm already working on what you will see 6 months from now from Quant-in-a-Box. So for Quant-in-a-Boxers, for you QBers, oh my God, there's some really amazing things coming. So I have to put together, so anyways, I didn't go on vacation this year because I'm doing all this stuff for us. And I have to put together time just to tell you all the amazing things that have happened. Okay? There's probably a dozen changes I need and upgrades. Okay? Cool. Anyways, so let's go back to this. This is important. We've talked about it year over year over year, and I find it just fascinating that, we're breaching the 21 now, and we haven't done that. I mean, we're looking at since the beginning of May. This is the first time, and the candle, the Canada Day candle is the peak. And since then, we've breached, right? A real breach. There's a real breach now. And this could be what we see in July. Okay? Now, we might lose volume and volatility. What if it only goes down to here and then kind of farts around and doesn't quite go up, doesn't quite go down? Yeah, shoot at rabbits. Mark says, become a good trader. Well, and you say X, I don't know if you meant Forex or FX or just any type of trader. When we think of one of the things that I've been trying to promote more over the last several years versus the early days is more of an investor mindset before you even get to your chart. So I think one thing that might really help people improve is have the investor mindset first, the way that you look at the markets. And once you start making connections between gold and crypto and stocks and bonds, and then all of this leads to Forex, for example, if your primary focus is Forex, but to go in as an investor first and say, you've paid attention to all these other markets. You've paid attention to the macroeconomics. You've paid attention to, politics and central banking policy. And then you open up a chart as a trader. You're in a different setting, psychologically and intellectually, right? With that investor mindset first, and then you go in and trade. I think it'll be very helpful. Also, when you're thinking about how do you manage your Forex trading business? Well, if you don't understand like finance or personal finance specifically, then you don't get the concept that you have a small business and you know, how does the small business grow and make more and more money? And these are all finance questions. But if you're just a day trader or just a trader, you get lost in the concept because you're kind of a slave to your charts. You're a slave to your trade station, and you don't understand the purpose of what you're doing on aggregate, right? So you want to become, over time, I think, less of a day trader and more of a hedge fund, right? Not structurally, not legally, but understanding the concept of how these people make lots of money. And it's scale, isn't it? So how do you scale? Now, I cover a lot of that 20 years ago in my book and all that. Like the paradox of being a trader is the less you pay yourself, the more money you make. You have to understand that paradox, right? Sky Killer, again, I'm not going to agree or disagree with that, but just the attitude, I just don't like it. I'm like, whatever, right? Here's what you should do, right? Sky Killer's talking about, you should place a stop right where the market went. Whoa. Okay. Again, that's like a dog and pony show trickery or something. Like, look, right? No, I know what you're talking about, but still, and I'm not saying anything negative to you. Here's what I'm trying to get across. How about this, Sky Killer? I want people to think like an investor, be able to do research, come to conclusions based on their research so that they have a fundamental investment philosophy, what we call a bias. And then you open your charts and you do solid, hardcore technical analysis to set your trades up in advance. Now, I call that strategy. And then when price enters in, let's say, the zone in which you have interest as a buyer or a seller, which you've established weeks or days or, hours ago, certainly, then you drop into a smaller time frame and you trade your strategy. So you know why you're a bull or a bear. You've been a bull or a bear probably for quite some time. So you know why, and you know what you want to do, and you use your, let's say, 4-hour daily charts, and you're like, I'm a buyer, so where do you want to buy? And you identify those price levels, and that's where you would put limit orders, right, Sky Killer? Not like, oh, well, the market and the market makers, and I don't buy into that philosophy at all. And I honestly, when I sit down with people that are professional investors, they never have conversations like this of, oh, well, the market makers are going to sweep out all the retail orders. And then, dude, that's retail mumbo jumbo. I've never heard a professional talk like that. It's not the conversation like it. So, and that's more of a newer conversation too. Many years ago, it was like your broker's trading against you and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, here's what I'd rather you say, is you say, well, based on 20 years of research on this day, there's much more downward pressure on this asset than there is previous to that vertical line. So we don't know if this is coming down, but we know the probabilities of it coming down have increased. Okay? That's that. Does that mean sell? No. What if you were a long-term bull on this? Well, we know we have rules of engagement. This is an interesting price for bulls. Let's do it in a different color. Okay? This is an interesting price for a bull. Cool. And then this zone is an interesting price in which bears would take profit and maybe give bulls an opportunity. Okay, so I'm done. That's how an investor would look at this, okay? And that's a strategy side. Now, you have to get to the point like, why do you think the Japanese stock market would continue up? Well, you'd say, well, if you look at yield curve control, if you look at what the central bank is doing, if you're looking at this, if you look at that, if you look at this, and you look at that, you got logic behind it. And you say, because of all of that, I'm a bull. But then you also still have the knowledge that, well, very often, even bullish markets take a break. There's going to possibly be a fade. There's possibly going to be a fade, but it doesn't make you a bear. So now you're thinking, okay, well, where could I be a bull? And now you're doing technical analysis down here. You're like, well, if it went all the way down there, I might look to be a bull again. Okay, cool. What's the likelihood it's going to head down to S3? Almost zero. Okay, well, it might take 2 months to get to that level, or we're not going to that level. Okay, cool. So what are the buying levels? Well, I've already identified. There's one here. And then this is a bearish exit. So you could say there's kind of a continuation pattern here. Okay, this might happen. Okay, or it falls a little further and you get one of these and then it rises up. Okay, great. But we also know that this is a huge technical level. So now we could say, well, this could go. We could have one of these in August, take us down here, and then start and resume the upward trend, which is fine because this whole thing, it just ends up being a 618. Oh, great. Well, that's fine then. Okay, but you have to have like logic for your bias, and then you create a technical strategy, and then so like your plan A would be what? Well, this might be a buying opportunity in here, right? Okay, look, there's a buy order. Do we know if we actually want to buy that? No. So what if on an hourly chart? So where's my buy order? Okay, my buy order's here. Okay, I'll move it. Okay. So do we actually know we want to buy there? No. So in the future, if price drops down in here, which it could do this week, and then we have a nice higher high, higher low next week, that might be a buying opportunity. And in the short run, it's a range. Cool. If it drops below that, right, then we know that's a key level and it's important. We probably want to walk away if you're a bull and then check it out like, I wonder what will happen down here. So instead of putting a limit order, I mean, you could just say buy at the bottom of this range. Cool. The safer thing to do is say buy after rejection of the range. Now, the third part here is you also know seasonality, where if you get up here, you probably want to take profit just because we're shooting at rabbits. If it breaks higher, don't worry, you buy the dip. But building a giant portfolio of dozens of trades may not actually fit the market conditions. So maybe you just do a lot of day trading, this, right? Until we get some seasonality back. Now, if this breaks lower, okay, well, then we know this is an area of interest, and then we know there's another one below. So these are all strategic prices in which, as a bull, you're interested in looking for a reversal pattern. Or down here, you're looking for a reversal pattern. Or down lower, you're looking for a reversal pattern. Okay? If you are a long-term bull, that's, okay? That's your investor mindset. Now, a trader, okay, shooting at rabbits might take it down. Well, they would still should know that bulls are interested in getting in the game there. They should still know bulls are getting in, right? And that's where you get your ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. But an investor might say, this is going up for 5 years. And a day trader is thinking about today, maybe tomorrow. Okay? And we need to get somewhere in between. And that's what I mean, like going to Sky Killer's comment. I don't want you to think about market makers manipulating the scenarios and blah, Hunt taking out limit orders. And it's not the right thought process. The thought process is, do you want to own the Japanese stock market? I don't know. Then don't trade it. Okay? Do you want to own the S&P 500? These are the bigger questions. Okay? Sky Killer says, would you say, no, to me, they're all the same, Sky Killer. It's all the same to me. Okay? That's the wonderful thing about macroeconomics is all these asset classes are related. Okay? Like the new headline on Investor Bootcamp. Learn how to invest and trade everything. Everything. It's all related. Okay? So is there a giant difference in setting up the, is it more in stocks than in Forex? No. Most of your value is going to be the decision-making process of should you be owning this asset or not owning this asset. Okay? And they are related. So is there a relationship between interest rates and credit cycles? Yes. Interest rate, and is there a relationship between credit cycles and real estate? Yes. Okay. Do these cycles have an impact on commodity prices? Do they have an impact on currency prices? Yeah. And what is influencing these markets? The central bank? Yes. Why is the central bank manipulating the market? Because of macroeconomics, right? They're all, you should be, the decision of buying stock and buying currencies, it's the same. You just have to understand, if the stock market's going up, which currencies you should be buying, which currencies you should be selling. Okay. Favor says, hey, what happened at the OPEC meeting? Honestly, I don't know. I apologize for that. So I know that's going on or has already gone on, but it's been a holiday here, Favor, so I don't know. I think this meeting was interesting because Bloomberg, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, they were all not invited to this meeting. Okay? But, yeah, and what is the website for attending the meeting? Well, that's just the OPEC. They're just, right. Okay. But yeah, so that's where I want to get everybody, Sky Killer. If we're talking about real estate, we're talking about oil prices. We're talking about gold prices. We're talking about Bitcoin prices. We're talking about the stock market as well as the bond market. Okay? And you're like, wait, no, but we're talking about real estate. No, if you understand that, you understand everything. No, I got you, Sky Killer. Yeah. But I get very upset when it's like, when we're talking about, these esoteric, things like, oh, the market makers are going going after limit orders. And I'm like, that's nonsense. Stop thinking about it. Stop listening to it. Wherever you get that information, get rid of it. It's not the right thing to be focused on. right? Yeah, get rid of them, Sky Killer. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, stop listening to them. It's simple enough. Yeah. Oh, you can't possibly do it yourself, Sky Killer. You should just invest into them because they can do it. And you're like, yeah, whatever. All right. All right. So, yeah, S&P 500. Do you want to own this asset? Yes. Ashish, nothing has changed except the logo and the domain. Okay, so too high to buy now, maybe. But not technically. Okay, if we're going to do technical analysis, that's that. And you can still buy this technically. Now, we might say, based on what we've discussed before, here's Canada Day. There we go. And what we say is that vertical line very often can be a turning point in the market. But if you're like too high, well, there's two places. Remember, let me get my drawing tool. There we go. All right. This is a leading indicator, and this is a lagging indicator. Which one's right? Well, we don't know. So you have to kind of use both. Okay? Where will this be in the future? Well, we know it's moving this way, but the candles are also going up, so it'll be somewhere here. So I want you to think about the 8 SMA as the future 21 EMA. So somewhere in here, Sky Killer and everybody else, if you're a bull, there's something going to be like that in your future. Okay? Now, if that fails, then you switch gears and say, that is interesting because based on 20 years of seasonal analysis, a turning point, a lasting, meaningful turning point could occur. Okay, so I'm saying in the future, if it does one of these, okay, if it comes down to the 55, what does the 55 predict? Help me out, guys. If this drops to the 55, is it bearish? No. But what does it predict? Yeah, some sort of top. And what if something like that developed over the next week? Is it meaningful? Well, you could say, oh, it's a bit of a correction. But then again, if you knew, it might be more than a bit of a correction because of seasonality now. Okay? It might last for 3 months. We don't know, and I'm not predicting that. And speaking about predicting, I will put together a quarterly outlook. I'll start the work today, I hope. And so let's say next week, I'll do a quarterly outlook for you. Okay? But to understand the context of the pattern based on historic norms, then you're like, dude, what if this dropped, I don't know, I don't know if we're right. I don't know. That might be too much. But what if it's at least, could it drop to 4,000? Yeah. Could it drop to 35? Yeah. Could it drop to 3? Yeah. Okay. We don't know, and we don't have enough information yet, but it would be ripper interesting. Okay. Okay. That all this up that happened this year peaks. Okay. Infantry. Yeah. So anyways, you see, I don't know. Right. And that's what I'm saying. SMO says selling lower highs. And we started this conversation where this vertical line indicating a potential turning point is only a hypothesis at this point, right? So we drop into here, let's say, and I wouldn't say sell it just because we have this hypothesis. I wouldn't say sell it just because of what typically happens after 20 years of research. I don't know. This year could be different than the last. Past performance does not predict future results, but it is a hypothesis. And so how do we filter through that? And that's why we do technical analysis, by the way. So it's not bearish until it's bearish, right? But when it's bearish, you better, right, best believe you're the baddest. I'm better than the best. Best believe I'm the baddest. Sorry, I just had to do a Run DMC. So anyway, so it's not bearish until it's bearish. But it's interesting that you might be setting up an ambush going, ooh, this is going to turn bearish. And you're foreseeing the future, and you're observing and setting things up strategically with patience and discipline versus just making random trades. But right now, okay, right now, that's sort of what is still fundamentally there. Okay. So somewhere in here is most ideal between the 8. So where are we at? 4,400 might be the number today. And if it fails and we're on our way down to 4,250, we might be on our way to 3,250. So anyways, again, we're trying to predict the future. There's some risks that come with that, right? Cool. Any questions? Big thing today is the median minutes at 2. Make sure. And I will post that on FX Bootcamp as a challenge for you to read it. Could it be shocking? No. No. But you're looking for information about what did they discuss that led to the change in the dot plot. Okay. So no, it's not a game changer. But if you were a professional investor and trader, would you read the Fed meeting minutes? Yes. If you don't, you're not on a path. Let's put it that way, right? Right, Mark? It's like, I couldn't imagine talking to a professional investor. So, and I guess I'll switch around. When I talk to institutional traders, investors, hedge fund managers and stuff, it doesn't even matter what market. We have conversations about the Fed. We have conversations about the economy. We have, this is what we talk about. This is what nobody cares about. I mean, sometimes we talk about stuff on charts, but we're talking pretty big charts where we can talk about a chart and we all see it in our head. But the discussion, would a institutional investor or hedge fund manager or money manager of some sort, could they bring up the Fed meeting minutes? Yeah. So like at formerly known as FX Bootcamp, now known as an Investor Bootcamp, should you like download and read the meeting minutes? Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, I think you should be that type of investor. Yep. It's all posted there and you'll get points. Cool. All right, have a wonderful day. I will see you, I guess, later today if you're in the day trading group, right? It's Wednesday. So remember, go into the day trading group. Why the name change? Because we're getting serious now, Meta. Over the last 20 years, I've been doing Forex, obviously, but people have been asking for more. They want more. And so we talk so much about oil, we talk so much about gold, and we talk a lot about Bitcoin, and we talk about the stock market now a lot more. People are expanding. And then when I ask about other things, personal finance, real estate, hedge fund strategies, raising money, all this other stuff, people are like, man, I want that too. I want that too. Right? Yeah. And to me, they're all the same. The secret is the one thing, and that's your macroeconomic analysis. But let's talk about it all. So after 20 years of FX, it doesn't describe the community well enough anymore. So it is now Investor Bootcamp. And just like it says on the homepage, let me bring it up one more time. Here it is. So like it says on the homepage, how to invest and trade everything. That describes us properly. Okay. The keys to long-term success through investing are patience, discipline, and the ability to do your own research. You will learn how to be the most prepared investor in the room and thus the most confident one as well. That describes us. Daniel says, where's the day trading group? Well, you log in. Okay. Swing trading group, day trading group. Okay. Yeah, some of you guys use different web browsers and stuff. So just go to Investor Bootcamp. When I go to FX Bootcamp, there's an auto redirect. Some of you guys have web browsers that don't do that, or you have security systems that are like, you're not allowed to auto redirect. So Yeah, so you'll have to type it in. Yeah. So it's different, yeah. So you might be running security software that doesn't like the redirect. So it blocks the redirect. Because you can get one of these sites where you're like, you click on your clickbait, right? Right? And so many of the ads, I just don't use social media anymore or ever. And there's, I mean, I don't use the internet anymore. It's so bad. You go everywhere and it seems like clickbait. And you click on something and then it auto redirects you somewhere else. And so a lot of your blockers are going to block that because then it takes you from this site to some other site. And there's all these pixels getting thrown on you and all that. Okay. Yeah, Kyle, I haven't gone backwards and moved them, and I don't even know if I can. Okay. But Kyle, they're still in the community. So I'll kill the meetups, but they'll still be there. So you go to the community like you always have. And then under meetups are all the recordings. Okay. They're all here. So I'll kill future meetups, but the recordings will still be there. And in the future, they'll be here. So like the swing trading group tomorrow, you'll click here and you'll enter there, and then all the recordings are going to be underneath in the future. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's good. It's good. So I want you guys to think, I want you to think about what you want to do in the future. Global stock market course, gold course, personal finance course, real estate course, hedge fund course, venture capital course, family offices. I think as an investor, as an allocator, but also someone raising money from a family office, I think would be good. Cool. And if you want to learn more about me, I think this link won't work, actually. I changed it. Oh, no, maybe. Oh, yeah, it worked. Cool. If you want to learn more about me, there's an expanded version. All right, cool. That was real. Thank you for being part of the FX Bootcamp community for 20 years. And now, okay, we're getting bigger and we're expanding so that you can find your opportunities in all asset classes. So bigger and better, upward and onward. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Okay? So you've always been a boot camper. You're still a boot camper. Cheers.